Well, like, in the morning, it's like you take your morning shit. Like, that, like, gets your butthole ready for the rest of the day. What do you do with your mouth? Like, eat breakfast or something?
I think you shit out your mouth.
And... Hello and welcome to 8-Bit Dad. I'm Zach Rosenberg.
And I'm Brian Ferguson. 8-Bit Dad is the modern parent source for real fatherly opinions. In this show, we talk about some of the weekly top stories posted on 8bitdad.com.
That's right. We are the founding fathers of 8-Bit Dad, and we post fatherly opinions and news from across the web to our site, and we tackle important news in the fatherhood community. Bing! We feature interviews you won't find anywhere else. Maybe a couple places. And we even blog about our own personal stories, which are tender, as indicated by my change of tone.
Yeah. And if you have a story that you would like to see make it to our show here and our website, you can email us at dads@8bitdad.com, or if you want to contribute and write for our website, you can email us at contribute@8bitdad.com.
And also, if you really want to be a champ, and we know that you do, you can follow us on Twitter, and that's twitter.com/8bitdads. You can like us on Facebook, and that's facebook.com/8bitdad. And you can repin some of our wonderful, tender images of loving, caring, fatherly stuff.
We had a new one, that kitty that was like flying at that little kid.
Kitty.
Like, doing one of those.
Anytime you have a
cat and a baby, yeah.
And that's Pinterest. And that's pinterest.com/8bitdads.
Yes.
You can also join us on Google+.
And
we're never going to be able to get that one out.
I think we have a new URL. What is it? Our friend Raul Colon, I think he's in Colombia, right? He was at South by Southwest for the...
Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico.
Maybe?
One of those non-continental countries.
I think it's intercontinental, like
the
wrestling tournaments.
Yes. But he hooked us up with the, what is it, like gplus.to/8bitdad, I'm going to say. We'll put it right here, and that's where you should go.
And that's Google, or plus.google.com/11381729037.
No, we got a shorter one.
Shorter.
He came up with something that we didn't think about.
I like the longer one. It gives us character.
It does. We're on episode 22, and that's that. Twosies. Deuces are wild. That's all I got.
Oh my God! Apple's giving away free iPad 3s.
Are you serious?
I just have to go to this one website, and then it'll just
holy shit
hook me up. I think I'm going to go.
You should do that.
So the iPad 3's out.
Give me one, too.
Can I get two?
Anything fun this last week?
Say no. I don't know. Like, right now in life,
it was raining. It was raining this last.
Which in LA is an event.
It looks okay now.
It's sunny outside. It's cold.
It looks fine.
As the Dickens.
Yeah, it was hailing.
Which to us is 70 degrees.
It was hailing last night, which is weird because the temperature said like 50 or something like that.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, here's some ice.
But it was cold. But what do you do with your kid? I mean, when it's raining, like, do you try to bring him to the park like every weekend, right?
Yeah. When it's raining, we just we try to come up with some indoor activities.
Do you go anywhere? In particular?
There are some indoor play places around here. We've been to a couple of them.
The mall?
No, not those. God, I hate those things. But like ones where you can actually like pay a couple bucks. That's me paying because I usually pay from my breast. That's where I keep my money, in my breast.
In your bra.
And
your bro.
Here you go.
Or man's-ear.
And I think my dad was on that episode of Seinfeld.
Was he really?
I think so. I don't know. But there's some places where you can go and pay, and your kids can just run around for hours inside of these places, and they have just basically baby toys or toddler toys or just things. Like, it's an empty room.
It's not like a track.
It's kind of like, in one way, it's kind of the biggest scam business ever, because someone just buys a bunch of like kid toys, throws them into an empty office, and they're like, and it'll be $10 for you to get in.
It's like an abandoned warehouse.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I've been to one of those too.
Really?
Where they build like a McDonald's play place type thing inside of a big abandoned warehouse.
Oh, all right.
And then charge you to get in. But yeah, no, we don't do that actually on rainy days, but you can. We did that. We used to do that before our kid was in classes, like on weekdays or whatever. My wife would bring them to those places, like if they had a day where it was a little rainy and she just needed to like go and let him burn off some steam.
Yeah.
I think, you know what, now we just play, like, he's old enough to like play the Wii, so it's like now rainy days are like the Wii.
That's cool.
I mean, there's not enough rainy days to say like that's what we do on rainy days.
Right.
But like, the one day in March, we played the Wii that one day. So we play it other times, but especially if it's rainy, we're like, here, burn your energy on that.
That's cool.
Swing this for a while. What do you guys do when it's raining?
We don't. I mean,
you just
she's been inside.
tell her, watch the rain. Stand by the window and watch the rain.
I mean, we were thinking about, like, because we don't really go to the mall a whole lot.
Yeah.
And we were thinking about doing that just to. I don't know.
We went to the mall the other day to get portraits.
Yeah.
I guess that would be filed under the "What have you been doing" last week? And I was like, nothing, bitch. Move on. First story. But we went and got like family portraits for the first time in
that's cool.
Ever. Because
Like,
we didn't
professionally done.
Yeah, we haven't had in the 3 years that my kid's been alive. We don't have any pictures of the three of us because I'm always the photographer when we go somewhere. So it's like pictures of my wife and my kid, or then I give her the camera and it's pictures of me and the kid, or we give someone else the camera and it's a picture of the tops of our heads. So like we just had nothing.
And it's always a good idea to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're like, he's 3, it's time. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
JCPenney. Groupon.
There you go.
It was pretty cheap.
How much was it?
Well, at point of purchase, or POP as they call it in the industry, it was $0.
Wow.
And my wife paid for it, so I actually have no idea how much it was, but I think it was like $20.
That's cool.
And it was like, we got 6 sheets of photos, and we walked out and the Easter Bunny was outside. We're like, let's do another photo! So,
cool.
It was a day of photos.
All right. So, let's see. I think that's it.
That's all we got.
That's all we got. That was our live.
See you next week.
I'm Brian Ferguson.
Hey, Remy's kid is waving at us.
Oh, hey, what's up?
We're waving back.
Hi.
Hello, Remy's kid.
Hello, Remy's kid.
If you've been reading our website, we have a new guy with us,
Chances
Remy
are
Stevenson.
that
and
not a lot of people read our website, but we're trying. We're
by the numbers,
trying our darndest to get out there. And
Remy's watching us right now, but he can't figure out a way to interact with us other than Twitter.
Well, that's cool.
Which, hey, you get something.
It's more than we had 10 years ago, when we just had chat rooms with like Teen Chat 16.
I was into that room.
Or
I think that's where I met my wife.
Really? Teen Chat 16?
No, actually, Craigslist.
Oh. So there's that.
Oh, there's that.
We had a podcast question of the week, which you can also interact with us with. That sentence made no sense, but
I followed it.
It's early.
It's early.
We're drinking coffee. We had a podcast question. Have you ever tried your wife's breast milk?
Tried your wife's breast milk.
Oh, shit.
Show ender. And we're out.
That's terrible.
Folks, I gotta go.
I just kind of make my own creamer. What? I don't know what's going on.
Our shows are getting like, depending on how you feel about us, our shows are getting either better or worse as time goes on.
Well,
we're having more like show-ending moments. I think earlier on,
since we haven't been drinking beer. I think
we've been less focused. How does that happen? How do you get less focused with less beer?
I don't know, dude. But we had a couple answers. Remy actually said that he tried it he answered on Twitter, I think.
Remy's a hippie. I don't think he minds me saying this. But Remy is the kind of hippie that would try breast milk. Not that it takes a hippie, but
it doesn't take.
Maybe it does.
Maybe it does. We're not sure.
I don't even have our
he
website open anymore.
he
Is that
said
the problem?
the taste is watery and sweet. I think melon juice is a good comparison, and I'm a big fan of the packaging. I think he means breasts.
Well, yeah, he was playing off of what's his face?
Oh yeah, so yeah, that was in reply to the 30 smoothing dad. He says, "I have tried it both via the bottle on purpose, and via the source on accident. I don't know if you can, make a choice to do the bottle on accident.
I don't think you can do it from the breast on accident.
No, it just
like,
kind of happens.
You know when there's a breast in your mouth.
You kind of know when there's breasts in your face or near your mouth
or
region.
anywhere in the room.
Yeah, you kind of know when this is being occupied by something
when you're only
squishy.
That's it.
It's 2.
Show under 2.
Number 2. It's 22.
So
funnily enough, not funnily.
Funnily enough,
it tastes a lot like melon juice. Yeah, cantaloupe.
Dude. Is that how you spell it?
Is this coffee? What is this?
It's coffee.
This is vodka. And he says, "Well, I don't drink cantaloupe. I would never go out of my way to have a glass of it."
That seems to be like the consensus is that like most dudes that have tried it like don't mind the taste, but they're not necessarily going out to get more.
Breast milk?
Or coming in to get more.
Breast milk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not cantaloupe juice. Because that shit is delicious. But yeah, it seems like a lot of people are like, you either are like completely not into it and you're like, no, never, not going to happen. It's going to be like fire on my tongue. Or you're like, yeah, I tried it once and, no big deal. I'm not going to really go have it again, but whatever.
Yeah.
No one's ever like, incredible. Except for the guy that like made a restaurant based on his wife's breast milk.
I heard about that.
Whatever, a cookbook or something.
No, it was like it was food or something.
Yeah, there's a couple crazy ones. The dude, wasn't this dude like selling his wife's breast milk? I think I linked to that story too. I linked to it but didn't reread it, but it was from like years ago, and this guy was like selling his wife's breast milk or something, and there's like, I guess, laws against that.
Well, I heard about that because the FDA isn't regulated. It was like
because God knows everything that the FDA regulates is safe.
Well, no, because there was a similar story where this guy was making homemade sperm. Making homemade sperm. And he was selling it or giving it away, or not like.
Wait, what? Some guy was selling his sperm?
He was like giving it to someone. He was advertising it on the internet for people that can't afford going to a fertility clinic.
Oh yeah.
And what the hell? Oh, Twitter. And he got shut. His business. His manufacturing business got shut down.
The FDA, I got a problem with the FDA anyway. Just because, they're like one of those like holy rollers that like only intervenes when something's like too weird for weird.
Yeah.
But
what happened?
I don't know. It gave me like a sad computer and said, "Kill it if you need to kill it" or something. But yeah, the FDA like intervenes when they deem something as dangerous. But you're like, look at all the shit that you've let through. Like McDonald's. Okay, I'm sorry. I like McDonald's. I think, despite the fact that everyone says, "Oh, it's shit," and blah blah blah. Like I can go for McDonald's from time to time.
I went for yesterday.
And totally.
Yeah.
And that shit is fucking toxic for you. I mean, there's that pictorial that we covered 2 years ago at this point, where someone left out like a McDonald's cheeseburger for like a year, and it like looked the same on day 365 as it did on day 1.
That's terrible.
Like that kind of shit is like the FDA's like, hey, okay, no problems with that. But then if someone, wait, am I arguing on the side of someone actually selling their sperm?
I think you are
for consumption, or
you're taking the power back.
So, do we have any other answers to that question?
Yeah, my friend.
We totally did.
My friend Liz said that her husband says it's gross. She found that his disgust was humorous, and she used to squirt him whenever possible.
Yeah, I read that. And then I imagined it, and I was like...
She could even reach across the room.
And again, I imagined it and thought, I've seen internet videos like that.
I think we did say that, and she said that his reaction was total horror, much like hers when he farts in the car and locks windows.
Which is a fun game.
Dutch oven.
It's called Fartsy Smellsy.
Fartsy Smells.
It's not really called that.
So
my computer is just systematically shutting itself down here. We had a couple other people on Twitter answer, and I'll be damned if I could find the fucking windows that it was in.
Well, let's move on. 15 minutes. First story was the Lysol story. And you're stuck on Twitter. Lysol healthy families means mom and baby.
That's right.
No mention of dads.
Yeah, this was kind of, okay, we're going to preface this. With a preface. So, some people say that this is a reach. Some people say it's not important.
You all right?
No.
Wrong story.
I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm trying to stop Ustream everywhere I can.
Is that why we have like 3 viewers?
Did I ever thank you for putting Ustream on every single page on the site?
I think you did.
I don't know where we're going. Oh, yeah. So one of the things that I keep hearing in the criticisms of this article, and it's very understandable, is that we're reaching with this, and like, who cares, and God, it's not a big fucking deal, and if they're marketing to moms, then they should just mention moms, and if moms are doing the bulk of the work, then it's a chicken or the egg thing. We got into it. We didn't really get into it, but we were replying to Easy Lunchboxes. Kelly Lester had reposted the story, and one of her followers had said something like, well, what's the big deal if moms are their biggest audience and moms are doing the work, then why not market to moms? And it's understandable, but that's a chicken or the egg type comment, because it's like, are they marketing to moms because moms do the work, or are moms doing the work because they're marketing to moms?
It's not that hard to market to parents.
It's totally not. Like, all you have to say is parents instead of mom.
I don't understand. Yeah,
like they're not. It's not like they're selling douches like they used to. Like Lysol used to sell like feminine care products. They no longer do that. They now sell like home care products that aren't necessarily vagina based. So you can just say parents. You don't have to say mom and everything.
Or vagina based.
Even if they showed the mother in the commercial but said parents, like with the voiceover, don't fucking do it. But if you go to Lysol's website, and this was kind of what kicked it off. Actually, no. What kicked it off was a commercial that said, "Hey moms, blah blah blah." But then, and that was nowhere to be found on the internet, of course. But then I went to their website and I did a Google Ninja search of the word mom and the word mother and the word father and the word dad. And found that they mentioned mothers 163 times and they mentioned dads 3 times. I didn't even look at what the mentions were for dad. But I'm sure it was like, hey, want to divorce your kid's dad because he's not doing housework? Here's some great legal resources or something. But it's like, we got sure, okay, we're grasping at straws by trying to just solve people that aren't overtly coming out and saying something bad against fathers, like Huggies. That was kind of the comparison was they didn't do anything like Huggies did. Huggies made a commercial that was actually toxic to the image of fathers. Why don't you wait for someone to do that before you go after them? And the answer is, why wait? Why wait for it to be that problem? Like, why not open the door for diplomacy before you drop the bomb, or before someone drops the bomb? Mm-hmm. It's like I almost don't get the inaction part of it. And we kind of did it in a funny way. We went to their wall on Facebook and asked them if the products actually work for fathers, like if they physically will work on our hands. And then we got other fathers to post comments also, and it actually went over really well. I thought someone was going to break stride and like comment differently, but everyone went on there and acted like they had no idea how to use these products, and like they searched the internet on how to use like a spray and couldn't find it because Lysol just mentions moms on the website. Like, that was a pretty good showing, even though it was eight or 9 comments or something. But I mean,
that's right. And if you have some action shots of you trying to use Lysol products, we'll totally put it in this article.
Yeah. If you scroll to the bottom of our article, there's a gallery of us trying to use Lysol products with hilarious dad results because dads can't use Lysol. Duh, moms do the work.
Yeah, and if we haven't received that many responses because probably a lot of dads don't use Lysol.
That's a dare. Bitches.
So...
And this sort of thing is toxic, I think, for moms, too. This cleaning product is toxic for moms. Because, and I think I had mentioned all this in the article, so fucking read it. But arguing against what that the lady had said on the Easy Lunchboxes post, like marketing things straight to mothers, marketing home products to mothers, is, in my opinion at least, I don't want to drag you into this if you don't believe this, but
drag.
I think that's what reinforces this whole like work gender pay inequity that's going on, where women make 70 cents to the dollar of what a man makes for the same job. I think it supports the image of women just being in the home and does not support them being in the workforce, because if all they see on TV is them cleaning the home, they're going to think that all they do is clean the home. And their daughters will grow up seeing all those images on TVs and think, oh, well, that's all moms do is clean the home.
Yeah, well, I think I saw this. There was a comment on the Huggies page, too, that kind of related to this situation of just advertising and gender, reinforcement of who does what as far as moms and dads. And one guy said, well, I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, it's just a commercial. Like, would you be offended if there was a woman using a wrench in a hardware, kind of commercial, or a tool, where she's physically working on something like a guy would in a garage or something? And I think I commented saying, like, dude, are you comparing parenthood to using tools?
And no, you wouldn't, but you sure should know that women would be offended if you had, like we always say, the classic image of like a woman that doesn't know how to use a copy machine. Like if Xerox put out a commercial and said like,
or if there's
don't know how to use copy machines, mom. Beep 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 beep. Oh no, look at all those papers.
Or if there was an incapable mom working on a car, like breaking it,
like,
and it was
I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
like moms would be understandably fucking pissed, and like,
so it's not the message, or it's not the content, it's the message. And
it's like I was saying, like it's kind of like for our kids' image, like for our kids to like see a positive image of fathers and mothers. Like us, like we already know, we're college educated, we're smart, we have these conversations. The people that engage with us on these conversations are typically smart people that are already on our team. It's like we're preaching to the choir on a lot of this shit. But it's like we want our kids to grow up and not think that moms are just in the kitchen and dads are just out at work. And even if that is typically or statistically what's happening, like who knows what happens if you start portraying it differently? Like maybe it'll change.
Or it can make fathers realize that they have a vital role and not skip out on their children.
Totally.
That's my main argument, is that to increase the importance of the fatherhood image within at least TV advertising, something that's sort of passive in your home, that kind of reaches out to you from these corporations and programs. Like they have a responsibility to sort of guide or mirror society in a positive way for people to react to it in a certain positive light. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, no one's got any like responsibility to market things in a just way or an equality based mindset. No one has to.
No one has to do that.
You also don't have to say "bless you" when someone sneezes in the store, and God knows that's a touchy subject for some people now. But it's just
so
the right thing to do to to just market things towards both men and women when you're marketing home products. Like, it's just the right thing to do, and that's what Huggies had ultimately said was, we were reworking our stuff because it's the right thing to do. So
just like the whole parents thing, it's important for society as a whole to have a strong foundation of parents. I don't know how many episodes of Intervention I've watched, but if there's anything that there's one true thread, is because fathers aren't there for their kids when they're young.
There are a lot of stats that you can look up on. Excuse me while I throw up in my hand. The National Fatherhood Initiative's website.
Yeah.
You can look up National Fatherhood Initiative. I want to say it's fatherhood.org. But they have a whole section based on stats about what happens when dad's not around. Also, there's a graphic that we posted about a week ago from the Indiana Youth something. And it's called Be a Super Dad. And that one is about, it has a couple stats about, like 85% of the kids that commit suicide are because there's not a dad in the home, and
that's a bummer.
Stuff like that. So I mean, it's fathers are important.
Yeah.
Not to say that moms aren't also, but
I think there needs to be equality.
Yeah.
At least in the
just tell me to take my time. Let's take your time getting to the show. Got
yeah,
it.
that was.
That was like 2 hours ago.
Well,
I didn't take my time.
This is how far we are right now. We got one story. It's gonna be a long.
The rest of them are easy.
Yeah. So next story.
I'm saying that hopefully not because they actually are.
Yeah. Next story was the Star Wars Kids Alphabet. This was an interview with artists Brandon and Emma Pete. We'll just kind of hit this really quick. The story is, pretty self-explanatory. You have to kind of go see it for yourself. But there's a lot of images. The whole alphabet. They wanted to do this book for their son Tycho, or Tico, or however you want to say it. I say Tycho.
Sure.
Yeah. And they wanted to create they wanted to do like a project originally for the walls in his room, and they came up with this interesting sort of take on Star Wars characters that were really kid friendly, and they made a book out of it called A is for Akbar. And this book was really cool because it was going to be free to people that donated to his college fund. And they can't legally sell this because the characters are owned by Lucasfilm.
That was my question. Was like, I guess Lucasfilm doesn't come after them if they don't sell it.
Well, they're not outright selling it. They're giving it away. So it's sort of like an indirect.
Weird that Lucasfilm still doesn't somehow.
There's a loophole there.
Come after him and kill him or something.
There's a loophole that I'm sure they thought about, and it seemed to work. But he mentions, I kind of asked him in the interview, like, have you been contacted by Lucasfilm or the Star Wars franchise based on these things? And he said, funny you should ask. There's nothing that he can talk about right now.
Of course.
But something that's...
Lucas came and fucking put a contract in his face and said, talk about this anywhere, asshole.
But he said that there might be an answer that he would be able to give later this year. Calm down.
Say it with the chest.
Check his website out. It's Brandon Pete, PEAT.com, and he's got a lot of really cool other artwork that he's done. That some of it is for sale. It's just a couple bucks, like $5-10.
Dude, and this stuff is like so much better than like. God, all those like kids books when you're teaching your kids letters. I mean, like, okay, it's important that you do those other kids books that say like, A is for apple, C is for cap. They always say cap. C is always for cap. Like, no one calls your hat a cap. Yeah. Like, unless you're in like literally like in England or something, like no one's like, oh, that's a nice cap you got there. People are like, that's a great hat.
That's a great lid.
That's a wonderful baseball.
That's a nice dome. I guess you cover.
Say baseball cap, but fucking cap. Yeah. But yeah, like that, you need to have those like basic letter type things. But then for the parents that want to take it one step further.
Yeah, there's actually an alphabet book, an ABC board book on Amazon that I think is actually licensed by Lucasfilm because they got C-3PO and R2 on the fucking cover. So
photorealistic C-3PO.
Yeah, it better be
been exchanged.
But they, I think they do it a little bit differently, and they have like realistic photos of the actual characters, and it looks really cheesy. It looks like something out of the 80s.
Well, probably because Lucas was like, I saw someone was making a cartoony book of our characters. Let's do it photorealistic in 3D.
I think they had, what is it, A for Anakin.
Yeah, of course. Oh, fucking course.
Yeah, instead of Akbar, which I'm kind of for Akbar on this one.
Oh, yeah,
Anakin.
totally.
Because you already got Darth Vader for D, you know.
Yeah,
it's just,
exactly. They just made everything have to do with Anakin, didn't they?
Yeah. And that's the worst. That's like a Halloween costume of Darth Vader.
It really is, because like the shoulders are not broad enough at all to be Darth Vader.
That is not an accurate...
That's not a screen grab of any of the movies.
That's terrible. Oh, my God. I haven't seen this before until now. That is terrible. We're going to show that.
You're going to put that...
Yeah. We'll make it its own thing.
Oh, make it its own.
Yeah. That's terrible. Oh my God.
Yeah, that book.
Wow.
Not to say that you shouldn't buy it, but
yeah, it's not for sale anymore, unfortunately.
What?
I mean, not for sale, not for sale, but it's not available. But you can check it out, download them at your own risk.
You can download them from us, right? From our.
Yeah, you can go to his website and download them.
From his website.
He wants to get some good little scratch.
Sweet hits.
Yeah, little sweet hits from our. I would say 8-bit bump, but we don't have any.
It's more like an 8-bit.
It's an 8-bit sneeze. It's like a and then you got a couple hits. Next story.
An 8-bit drizzle.
Next story was Remy's.
Remy's.
Yeah, we're gonna cover Remy on this one.
Might still be watching. Remy, you want to cover this one?
Yeah, let's do it. Fatherhood on the go.
Yeah, Fatherhood on the go, part 2.
Part 2.
Taking chaos into consideration.
This is hopefully the
most negative part of his story. Hopefully it gets better. And so far, from the next chapter, which will be up soon, probably by the time this shows up, it gets better.
I was gonna make a Back to the Future 2 thing, but it just wasn't working.
That's true.
Moving on.
If you haven't read part 1 on our website, you should definitely do that.
It's in this article.
Remy Stevenson is a dude that has taken on quite the undertaking in his life. He and his wife, Kate, and their 2 kids have sold 98% of their belongings, and they're biking across America, not on motorcycles.
Not like vroom, vroom, but it's like...
Yeah. Fring, 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 fring.
That's not how you bike, but...
It was a hand bike. They're hand biking across America.
Dude,
which, you know,
imagine how buff they would be like afterwards.
I used to do the hand bike at the gym, and when I say used to, I mean twice, because it was so fucking hard.
It'd be like
when you bike with your legs, wow, you think that's tough? Bike with your fucking hands.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do this for 30 minutes, and after the second minute, I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta stop.
Dude, I've seen those guys like on like Thousand Oaks Boulevard. Like, he's like in. There's one dude. He's like, it's like it was one of those tricycle things, and he's like. He's fucking huffing it like right next to cars.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, do this somewhere else.
But you know what? If that dude punched me in the face, I guarantee it'd be a one-shot knockout.
Yeah.
Whereas I would like hit and it would just like slide off his face.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's probably got buff arms.
Talk about the actual story.
Anyways.
So yeah, they're biking across America. Standard bicycles, not any of the ones we just talked about. They have a
not mopeds.
They have a chariot for their kids. I forget what age Remy said his kids were, and you can follow him on Twitter. And I'll never be able to pull that up in time, but it's Super Unknown. We had said a couple shows ago that it was a play on the Super Unknown title from
Soundgarden.
Soundgarden.
Yes.
But yeah, put that on the screen for us right now. So you can follow him on Twitter, and you can. Hey, our buddy's back on Google Plus.
Oh, there he goes. Have fun with that
trumpet.
That
thing.
what's
Google
that?
Plus.
Rusty trombone.
Rusty trump. Nice. So I'm going to actually talk about the story now for the first time. So Remy, if you haven't been following, was biking from Long Beach to Maine, somewhere in Maine, Long Beach, California to Maine, and in this leg of the journey, stage 2, he was basically in Arizona for the whole time, I think.
Yeah. He
sent a couple pictures, and you can check them out on the story. They look great, except for the part where he has a flat tire. But you know, Remy in this leg of the journey said this was like the toughest thing he's done as a father. I talked to him on the phone, and he was really down.
Yeah.
I mean, they like, you know, you have this great plan about what you're going to do, and especially, you know, like I have a great plan every weekend of what I'm going to do, and it goes to shit the second, like, we
every
try
weekend.
to do something. I can only imagine what it's like on the road trying to plan. You know, and they you know, he said right here, I thought everything would be so easy. It'll be like basic math, I said. We'll wake up early, ride for 3 hours at 10 miles an hour, then take a lunch break, then we end the day with another 3-hour ride. Easy, 60 miles a day.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong.
Yeah.
You know, first off, they got slammed with the Santa Ana winds, which will fuck you up if you're on a bicycle. If you're in a car, you're like, ooh, that tickles. But if you're on a bicycle, you're like, we gotta sit. Or we're gonna blow away.
Yeah. That tickles.
That's what I say. When the wind like pushes the car a little, and you're like, ooh. That almost lifted my car up.
Let me just use my pinky to adjust the car back into the lane.
So,
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a tough ride for Remy. If you, we're gonna put up a post on Facebook, seeing if anyone's got a place for him to stay along the journey too, because I guess, you know, because of these sorts of the chaos that he's been going through, they've had to spend a little bit more money than they hoped for staying places.
Mm-hmm.
So they could definitely use a room here and there if anyone's along the journey that, you know, is charitable and has a spare room and a penchant for doing good things for good people.
You know, might be good.
He won't steal your shit either. He's promised. If you like let him in your house, he's not going to walk out. Yeah,
he has no room.
They dumped they went on the road and they dumped like 20 extra pounds of stuff once they left, like including their wedding quilt, because they just didn't have room for it.
Wow.
I mean, he was telling me, he's like, I had this flashlight, like this military flashlight that he got from the military when he was in it. Just, you know, the military, not any specific branch, just welcome to the military, son.
Here's your flashlight.
And he had like a flashlight that he was going to mount on his bike, and he didn't have the mount, and he didn't have a battery for it, so he's like, I'm just going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like normal people would be like, let's head on down to the Circle K and get ourselves a AA battery.
Yeah.
Remy was like, don't have time for this. So read Remy's story.
Yeah, and
it's important.
You know, I think he should really put out an ad on like Craigslist or something, like in the states that he's going to be hitting.
Fuck, I didn't even think of that. That's smart.
You know, like Remy, if you're watching, you know,
put out an ad on Craigslist.
Go to Craigslist like right now and put an ad out in the states that you're going to go to.
The next state that you're going to be in.
And
those are nice people. They never kill anyone.
Link to the story. Craigslist. You know, you got pictures. You don't have to like.
And Remy is
write a whole big thing. He's
trying to in this journey raise $5,000, which a lot of people look at and they're like, that's nothing.
Yeah,
you know, if he was selling Girl Scout cookies, he'd be at like 10,000 already. But that's something that you should consider. You should be selling Girl Scout cookies.
Sell Girl Scout cookies along the way.
But
or steal them and then sell them.
He's trying to raise money for charity water, which I know nothing about, but he believes so deeply in it that I don't need to know anything about it.
There you go.
Remy gets none of the money that he raises for charity. It all goes 100% to charity water. And Remy's ultimate goal is actually to be down in Africa or Southeast Asia implementing the stuff that he's raising money for. Not necessarily that same program, but that kind of kind of thing. They're gonna get to Maine. They're gonna end up going to Europe, learning how to farm, and you know, kind of live subsistently. Then travel down to Southeast Asia and Africa and like pass on that trade, and you know, kind of be missionaries.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I would never do that.
I can't imagine.
And I give major props.
I can't ride my bike a block and a half, let alone, you know,
that's
across the country. I mean, crazy.
We have our own problems.
Our first world problems.
Yeah.
And, you know, he said, and I don't think he minds me saying this, but he said on the phone he was getting really frustrated with people saying that, like, they'll pray for him. You know, like he'd meet people along the way and they'd say, we'll pray for you.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't need your prayers. I need you to donate money. You know, like, we'll make it. We'll get somewhere. We have clean water in this country all along the way.
Yeah, it's nice to think about, you know, something, but it's better to sort of act and talk with your wallet.
Yeah, if you've got $1,
if you got a
dollar,
$2,
donate it. If you got more than $1, that'd be even better. But if you just have $1, that's all you can give. Just give it.
Give it.
Shut your mouth and give it.
Next story. So yeah, check out that article and support them.
And look for the next one. That's already up once the show's hit the internet.
Heyo. All right. So the last story we got is after social disaster, Huggies apologizes to fathers. Kind of goes along with the Lysol thing, so we won't spend too much time on it.
We touched on this last week also.
We did,
We just had the phone call.
Yeah, this is about your phone call from the Huggies representatives of Kimberly-Clark.
Casey!
And
big ups.
Big ups.
Bo, bo, bo.
And so yeah, this was a just a kind of a follow up on how they apologized and how they changed shit, and now they're trying to make good on their promise. And
yeah, I mean they put a lot of money into these commercials to start with. I mean, I can't possibly know how much it costs to make a commercial. Maybe you do because you'd worked at kind of ad stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot.
It's a lot.
And even to a multinational thing like Kimberly-Clark.
Well, they definitely want to get their ROI.
Yeah.
Return
totally.
on investment for those.
And so, for them to scrap a commercial or a couple commercials and redo them.
Well, they scrapped one. I know that. They scrapped one commercial.
They had scrapped one called The Big Game that no one actually really talked about.
Yeah.
And they did scrap this other one that we have the screen grab from. It's still on, but it's being retooled. Like, they didn't want to just have like dead air. Like, they retooled it. So
yeah,
they scrapped a couple and they have a couple more coming out. So
yeah.
And like we said, they're going to do roundtables with real fathers, just like us.
There you go.
So we're invited to a roundtable, as are some other dudes that we've talked to and that talk to us and that love our show and never watch it.
But it's, I was trying to follow the sort of follow-up on Twitter to the other dad bloggers that are out there. And it seems like they had the same conversation with, like, everyone.
Yeah, they did.
Like, everyone that blogged about it or wrote about it online.
They sought out everyone.
Which is kind of, it's cool because they're almost recognizing that there is some sort of weight to at least these websites that people are running, and have strong opinions that want to get their own opinions out there for other people to notice. And it's almost like a controversial thing too. It's like you got people that are so against the commercial, and then you have people that are like, "What's the big deal?
Yeah,
I don't understand. It's just a commercial. Why you have to get your diapers soiled?"
Well, that was kind of covered by the original article that you had done.
Yeah,
those about the Huggies problem. The gal that I forget what her name is.
Balancing
Jane.
Yeah,
she had covered that on her article about like the three main problems that people come up with when there's something like this.
Yeah,
and one of them was the whole like, why don't you relax?
Yeah,
and the answer was basically like, we don't have to relax. Was the answer, the official answer?
I don't know. I mean, we're trying to
champion the fatherhood image across the boards.
We're trying to do our part as best as we can, and sometimes that's not the best, but we do what we can, and this was something that we did.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, but Huggies they covered it well. I mean, they found everyone who had a problem with what they were doing, and they called them by name and on their home numbers and said, let's talk.
Yeah.
Which is the right way to do it. When you offend someone that deeply and personally, fix it that deeply and personally, which is what they did.
There you go.
So thanks, Huggies.
Thanks. So that's it for this week's stories.
That's it? Really?
I think so, yeah. Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when you're throwing up in your hand multiple times per show. Killer?
Yep.
Okay. So, as we always mention, and we know that you know this by now.
We hope that you know this by now.
You can email us a tip, a story, if you will.
Not your tip.
Don't email your tip.
Don't email us or send us pictures of your tip.
You know what? Actually, do it. I get a kick out of those.
That's fine.
I'm not against it. If you have a picture of you trying your wife's breast milk, like straight out of the breast.
You seriously did not just ask that.
Like a man can't have fetishes. Well, if you have a picture of your wife's breasts producing the milk, you don't have to be in it.
This isn't a science show, dude. We don't need to actually see.
If you have a story that you'd like us to cover, please email us at dads@8bitdad.com. Like we just had someone tip us off to that Huggies incident. like a week after we had already resolved it. But thank you for emailing.
What?
The girl that emailed and was like, have you guys seen that Huggies commercial?
Thanks, we just wrote 2 articles about it.
God damn it, you guys should go after them. Fuck. And we're like, thanks, lady. We actually did.
Thanks for reading.
But, thanks for emailing. Because that's the system that we want, even if it's late. And if you want to contribute to our website, which we also encourage, that's how we found a whole lot of people. Remy Stevenson, Richard Law, Tom Burns, ...
We're still waiting for Dino's article.
Dino
Ignacio.
I really hope he does. You know what he does? He works at like a video game company. He does like UI coding and stuff. I think he does some really.
And he's a father.
Shit. And he's a father.
Still waiting.
I think I'm gonna email him again. Mm. And we'll mention him on Twitter now. Gotcha. So you could email us at contribute@8bitdad.com. You could just fucking email any of us.
Whatever.
Anything. And
Go to
we
contact.
all get the same emails.
It's fine. You can like us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/8bitdad.
You can also follow us on Twitter. Find us.
We dare you. Except don't follow 8bitdad. Follow 8bitdads with an S.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Don't bother.
He's gone rogue! Don't listen to him! And you can repin our shit on Pinterest. That's pinterest.com/8bitdads.
Yes.
And I won't go through that Google Plus debacle again.
We'll just put it down there and you can go to it and hang out with us on the show.
If you really like us, you can request our friendship on LinkedIn.
What? LinkedIn.
I don't understand why, but a lot of these guys, like a lot of these dad bloggers, like have their LinkedIn profile like on their website, which I get if you're like something else, but if you're like a stay-at-home dad, like you're like, okay. So I guess that'd be it for 8-Bit Dad for this week.
Yes.
And I'm Zach Rosenberg.
I'm Brian Ferguson. Until next week.
We hope.
It is windy as shit.
Dude.
I don't know how shit can be windy.
My coffee has chocolate chips in it.
I guess you got the bottom half of the pot.
Holy fuck, dude.
Well, that's what you've been drinking. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Hey, whatever comes out of me that's not that hot-ass chili that was in the
Dude, I want
chicken.
Kung Pao now.